Rahubat Collective, welcome into another reading. We're going to jump right into this. And we're going to see what messages are coming through. Hopefully, you are doing good. And as well, if you're wanting to donate to the fundraiser that we're running to help fund the tarot classes that I'm going to be running, to hopefully get them to be in-person classes as well as a functioning online class as well. You can do so by donating to my Cash App, my PayPal, and my Venmo. Those are in the description. What's going on here? It's like snowing outside already. That's bizarre. I literally went downstairs and the dude was talking about it was going to snow. It already is. So you have the Five of Swords reverse. And the Five of Swords reverse is really getting you to see it's an Aquarius card. So there's some form of nurturing within your mind. There's some form of nurtured thought with all the water on the card. It would be on the Rider-Waite, of course, on this rendition of it. But the swords there is a way that you're needing to move forward. There is an actual thought that holds water, that's going back to water, that's trying to see where it went wrong. There's this thought, this plan that needs nurturing, that you keep looking at and walking away from, that you've just now, or that you're needing to walk to it. You're needing to go towards that idea more. You're needing to stop ignoring nurturing behind that thought. This could just be you needing to do a few steps, taking it one step at a time, or just going out and doing that thing. Funnily enough, the weather here is kind of messed up, so maybe you're letting the weather stop you, right? Maybe you're saying that it's a certain predicament that you need to that you can't get out of. Maybe it's just you not being aware. You're over planning and overthinking. You're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this or that, but you're not even taking the first step of asking someone that would know that, rather than trying to converse with yourself because you're listening to your ego at that point, right? So overstanding that, moving on, this is how you're going to start giving back to yourself. The Six of Pentacles. You're going to need to start giving back to yourself, allowing yourself to be within that ruling energy of Capricorn, but as well as being stable enough to moving forward. There is something that you're needing to see spiritually. There is a spiritual growth, a soul maturing that can happen when moving on to physical in a sense. But right now, you're very much stuck in the realm of the swords, as swords was the first card out. You're stuck in the mental realm. You're stuck in the head. And you're needing to leave that mindset. You're needing to leave the head, because you're trying to get to something in the pinnacles, right? You're trying to get some sort of end result, but this phase that is going to push you forward is paused, is stuck, is reluctant to move forward. And we had the Five of Pentacles again. This is really you seeing your surroundings, you allowing your mind to bark at you. Even on this one, it has to have really good redemption, even though it's supposed to be a female and not another male on the card. But the one with the blindfold would be the feminine if this was drawn correctly. And she is blindfolded. She's unable to see, unable to know where she's going, and she's being barked at, directed by the mind. Anytime a 5 card comes up in tarot, that's a bad card to see. You don't want to see a 5. That's when things are falling apart. That's when the disasters happen. That's when regrets happen. They're all about seeing the wrong, your 5 senses being inflamed, not truly following or doing what you're desiring, and allowing the whatever realm of we're in with the suit control your behaviorals. And right now it's the physical. And even on this card here, how it's snowing outside, even though it's not necessarily anything deeply to do with it, It could just be the weather of how you are doing, the weather of outside, externally, actual weather, right? However, something's keeping you from going forward. You know what you can do, you know where you need to be, but you're walking past it. You're keeping yourself outside of the church. You're keeping yourself outside of your holy temple. You're keeping yourself outside of your heart by focusing and giving so much gratitude and attention to your mind, right? Once you stop doing that, you're going to be able to get this scepter that you want from the world. Of course, there's no scepters in either of her hands for some reason. Don't know why. But you get a scepter from Mother. She's holding two, one for herself and one for you. And you're needing to really, well, the one, like there's magician wands on there, so I guess that kind of counts, right? But that's what you're desiring, is to move forward. You have the plan, you have everything you need, but you're sitting there in this ego-minded state saying, I want this. Why hasn't this happened yet? Why can't I just go ahead and have all these things? Why do I have to go do this? This doesn't make sense. I'll do that when I have this. And that's what's keeping you stuck. This is that cycle that the divine's trying to show you. That's this cycle that you're trying to break. You're trying to leave. So allow yourself, I'm gonna put this back in my head, there we go. But allow yourself to truly see that. Allow yourself to truly develop that inner knowing, that deep inner knowing, and move forward with it. Allow yourself to truly grab the scepter that Mother is trying to hand you. But it's like she's holding her hand out for you. Like, you can have this. This is for you. But you're not accepting it. There's something, a part of you that's like, no, I don't want this. I can't have this. This isn't what I want. Or XYZ, something of that nature, and you're needing to really trust in that. Well, trust in the scepter, I should better say. Not trust in the fact that you're saying you don't want it. Trust in Mother handing you the scepter. Trust in the answer that you're receiving. Trust in the guidance that you're trying to get. This could even be the Mother trying to show you, look internally. Don't look at the external. You don't need to look outside. You can look within and see all the things that's going on, the things that you need to fix, the things that you need to do, right? And this is you needing to take that advice, but instead you're so reluctant to be with the ego and be like, no, it's something external. No, it's other people. It can't be me, right? And that's what you need to really see at this time. God, I haven't had my hair grow out in forever, so it's a little itchy. My bad, y'all. But that's the main thing. If you are getting something like, oh, I need to go see something about my internal, get a reading from someone that knows how to read cards. Do not get a reading from these YouTube readers. They do not know how to read your cards. I'm telling you right now, they do not. Like, I've seen a lot of them. They all say the same thing for the same cards, and they're all like incorrect because they don't even know the imagery of the card. They don't know the astrology, the numerology of the cards. They don't even know what's trying to be shown because they're not using the original deck, which every other deck has just been mimicking, basically. They don't know how to read tarot. I'll tell you that to your face. And a lot of people might not like that. It's unfortunate. And it sounds egotistical to some to say that I know how to read tarot, but I know how to read tarot because I was taught how to read tarot by someone else who can read tarot. It was shown proof of all these things. And was actually told to look at the cards rather than look at the words. Because a lot of people just look at the words and go, oh, it's the world or whatever. They don't. That's not reading tarot. That's reading the cards for sure. That's reading what you can see. It's not digging deep into anything. That's just saying, oh, it's the world. What's the world in comparison and contrasting? Sure, that's not reading tarot. And a lot of your readers don't know how to. If they actually took a lesson from me, sat down and talked to me about how to read tarot, they would learn a lot more. Maybe they would start reading correctly, but to each their own. They'll learn one day, probably next life, whenever they realize that they were going down the wrong fucking path with all this corrupting people in the first place, right? Regardless, it's something that you need to see. There's something that you're needing to have more vitality with. The sun is here. Don't get blinded by the light. That might be something that's happening, is you are getting blinded by this light, right? But you're also on this horse. You're on this horsepower, this external power. You're getting handed that scepter to allow you to move forward, but you're not moving forward. You're getting the ideas. You're getting the inspiration. You're getting everything that you're needing, but you're not trusting it. You're not allowing it to guide you fully. You're almost afraid of what you do see. Maybe you just had a new eye opening and you're getting used to that. However, there is this grand beginning, this grand, I want to say stage or spotlight. That's the words that are coming to the mind right now for you, but you're not stepping on it. There is a path that has been so clean to you and so clear, but you need to look at it. You might need to look deeper into what you see instead of just getting blinded by, oh, it's just the light. Looking deeper into it, right? With the Page of Pentacles, a lot of you have already been given what you need. A lot of you all who are stuck in this, well, I don't know what to do, or all these things, it's because you're not listening to yourself. You're too busy listening to the surroundings around you, which are being created and formed by the internal you, that you're not seeing it. You're not awake. You're not enlightened. You're not who you think you are with these labels, because you're not seeing the actuality of a situation. You're seeing the external value of things, which isn't showing you anything but what's going on the inside of you that you need to change. And this is hard for some people. They don't understand it. They say, oh, no, it's not that. It's just how life is. No, it's the truth. That's how karma is. What you do to yourself is what you get. And if you tell yourself that someone else in your life needs to stop doing something, then your karma is going to be, until they stop doing something, you're not going to move forward. Because what if they're not doing anything? You just plaster it on them, right? Because you just don't know what else to do. You can't accept it for yourself because your ego is blocking that. Well, then you're never going to heal. You're never going to move on from that because you are blocking yourself, but you'll always project it externally. Projections come from you. A movie projector can only project from that one light, and that light comes from within. It's the same science as from us. This light can only shine because of it comes from the inside of the phone to the outside. You know, there's no light that just starts outside. It starts inside somewhere. Even the sun, if you want to talk about the sun's light, there's a core in the middle that's heating up the external, that's lighting it up. There's gases and all sorts of chemicals and gases inside of the sun that's allowing it to protrude externally. Now, all these things, right? It starts from within. It's everywhere, but people won't accept that because they like to externalize it, because they live in a 3D world where they're wanting to fake it. They're not actually who they are or what they want to think they are, because they're unable to accept the true value of things. And that's the fact of it. You can put a label on anything, but if the insides don't match what it says on the outside, then what are you doing? If you buy a can of carrots, but on the outside it has a label of peas, you might have got tricked because you thought you were buying peas, but it's actually carrots. But that's just because the carrots are on the inside. Whose fault is it? Is it the can's fault, or is it the label's fault? It's the label's fault, because someone put the label on there when it wasn't that, right? Someone had to do that. Who was that someone? The man, the working, the external, the one putting the thing on the item to make it on the container, I should say, to make the inside seem like it's something else. You do the same thing when you wear a mask and lie to yourself. When you say, oh, I'm so spiritual, XYZ, but then you don't internalize things, when you always externalize it and say, I'm spiritual and I'm under attack. You're not under attack. You're attacking yourself. You're in attack. You're not under anything. You're under yourself. If anything, you're under your ego, and it's your ego attacking you, and your ego only comes from you. You are the man that puts that label on the can or your flesh to make it seem like you're something, but on the internal, you're just not. And that's what a lot of people have to get a grip on and understand when it comes to this. With the Page of Pentacles, look at these things. Look at these things. How's the external reality showing you? Like, what is it showing you? What is it showing you about yourself? The people around you, the company that you keep. Everything shows you who you are. If you say that you're around bad people, it's because you're a bad person to yourself. If you say you're around people that are abusing you, it's because you're the one who's abusing yourself. You're ignoring those signs, those triggers, those ticks that say, hey, let's leave this place. Let's not be around these people anymore. All for some sort of external gratification. So you're already abusing yourself. You're already going down that path. And then you stay with them so you can externalize it onto them and project it onto them due to your ego not wanting to admit its defeat. That's how bad it is. That's how what's going on. If you have bad friends, if you have an ex that won't stop stalking you, it's because you literally won't quit stalking your own life. You won't quit trying to live vicariously through others. So now you're going to be bothered by those who you're trying to live out through, whether that's through blaming or live through some sort of like fiction or whatever. That's nonfiction, whatever, right? Just be very aware of that, because the divine is speaking to you through the physical. Again, read your realm. But when you read the realm, Read how it's projecting from you. If you see something you don't like, why don't you like it? There's a reason behind it. Are you just going to be a robot and be like, I don't like it because I don't like it? Or are you going to be conscious and go, why don't I like this? Why am I in disagreement with this thing that is just doing the same thing I'm doing, which is just existing? Why do I have to have a disagreement with it? Why do I have such a strong barrier up against it that's not allowing me to see the truth of it? So many people have this issue because they're not seeing things at all. They're not aware of it. They don't want to admit that they're wrong or that they've been lied to or that they look stupid out here. They'd rather just keep going down that pipeline. That's cool. Do what you want to do. But for those who are actually trying to grow, heal, and evolve and remove these cycles from your life, look at things that way. Because this is what's causing that disconnect. The Four of Wands. You're not engaged with yourself. Stop engaging with this thing up here. It's not going to give you anything good at all. Engage with your heart. What do you desire to do? That soft spoken voice that says you should do this, you should do that. Make plans, do those things, right? Don't just sit around and say, yeah, I'm going to do that and then not do it, because that's what your ego wants you to do. That's what your mind wants you to do. So that when you go try and take a new step to do something else, it's going to go, oh, well, you can't do that because you haven't done those other things first. And anytime you say that you're going to do something, you never do. So why should I allow you, or better yet, why should I trust you to spend the allowance that I already know that you're getting from your heart because I'm in control of it right now? Why should I allow you to use that? I'm gonna make you use that currency to hurt yourself now. That's what your mind will do, and that's what a lot of people fall for because of a disengagement with their true self, with their true actual being. They're not listening. They're not nurturing. They're not exploring the idea. They're not exploring the why. Why can't you do those things? Why aren't you able to do those things? Why do you feel like you can't? Why do you reverse that? Why do you think that you feel that you can't? Because that's not a feeling, that's a thought. The first thing that comes after an idea is seen as a feeling. It doesn't matter how small it is. Whenever I was doing this, the first thing I got was a feeling. And that feeling was my scalp was tense. So I had to go put oil on it and massage it. So I did. That's the feeling. And that feeling led to a thought, I should probably get that oil on my head. Now I had two paths to go down. I love this example because it's life. This is what you do every day. And I just did it in front of you to show you what's going on with you and how easy it is to truly switch these cycles up and do something different. I had two decisions. I said I could either sit here with an uncomfortable head, a very tense scalp, or I could just put the oil on. And then after that, oh, I could pause the video or I could let it resume. And even though I didn't consciously think I could pause the video and then resume it later, or I could just keep it unpaused, I just decided to do what I needed to do, which was nurture myself. I'm not going to stress myself out with how it looks or whatever the fuck. I'm going to just get the oil, rub it on my hands, put it on my scalp, massage my scalp, and move on because it's what I got to do. It's what I got the idea to do. It is going to nurture me. It's going to give back to me. It's not going to hurt anyone around me. It's not going to bother anyone around me. And if it does, that's weird. Like, that's on them completely, not me. Because if they're bothered by it, they're the one who has the issue, not me, obviously. Because if I had the issue, I wouldn't have done it. Right? That's how easy it is. That's how simple it is. That's a really basic example. But I didn't go down that loophole. Should I pause the video or, while rubbing it, should I just stop rubbing it and stop massaging myself? Do I look crazy doing this? All those like other random thoughts that may have subconsciously happened that I didn't pay any attention to due to that just being the consciousness barking and me looking at myself in the camera. I didn't let those thoughts control me. Those are the pipelines that you go down that then lead things to be harder for you. Oh, well, I can't because what if they think that? All these other things, all those excuses that you end up making that keep you from doing what you need to do. That's what's going on. That's what you need to stop. And that was literally me demonstrating you what's going on, how to easily stop it, not paying attention to all those past excuses, because those past excuses are exactly what they are, from the past. They're things from the past that are trying to keep you stuck in a past energy so that you aren't able to move forward, so that your ego gets that gratification to put you in a victimized mood, to put you in a victimized state, not to your external reality, but to yourself. You become a victim to yourself and you become your biggest abuser and then manifest all these things that do not align with you because you're refusing to even take any form of action or take anything a step further from the swords part of manifesting, from the thought part of manifesting, into bringing anything on the physical. People don't get how it's that simple. But a lot of people will overcomplicate it. They don't know what they're doing, or it's not explained to them in a good way, or they just do it once and think, oh, well, how did I do that? Well, you followed your steps, you followed your ideas. What were you doing that time? Were you spending your time focusing on fear about something not working, or were you put your entire faith into something else? So you got to investigate that feeling. The Three of Wands upright, all about investigating the feeling, seeing it, seeing in the water. There's something wrong with the water. Why is it yellow? Why is it sun colored? Why is the sun reflecting from the water? Well, what is the sun? The sun is vitality. The sun is growth. The sun is the sun can be a nurturing, but it's a masculine feature. There's some work that needs to be done. Well, let me look in the feelings. What do I need to do? Not just stick with the mind all the time. That's what you need to do, is investigate those waters before you go into it. Investigate them. You know what you need to do. You know how to do it. You need to investigate those thoughts that are trying to consume those feelings, to make it seem like it's not going to be valuable for you, make it seem like it's not going to be worthy for you. That's what you need to do. The Hangman reverse, because you already know what you need to do, but you're restricting yourself. You can cut yourself down at any moment and you'll land on your feet. You will literally be fine, but you're not doing it. There's some form of restriction that's coming from this thought form that makes you want to say that, oh, well, I can't, and I feel like I can't do that, because it puts you back into a false feeling. A false feeling is that emotional mask that you end up wearing due to your conscious self, your masculine, your right-minded self, having more control and dominance over what you're desiring to do than what you're doing, which then makes you think that all the ideas that you have are worthless. It makes you think that nothing is going to work out. It shows you, oh, well, this didn't work out, that didn't work out. It gives you those examples because your brain needs you to have a reason for why. And your ego will make up so many reasons for why, because it wants to make you feel worthless at the end of the day. It wants you to feel like you need protected. Well, how are you going to protect yourself if you're not doing anything to get that protection? How is the ego going to protect you? How are you going to protect yourself if you're not doing the things that are going to be required of you to get that protection? You see what I mean? You can't expect to just get protection off bat without doing something first. You have to ask for it. You have to receive it. And then you have to do with it as what it said. Follow the instructions with it. Five of Wands. A lot of people get that divine inspiration and run to a different path. Oh, if I get all this, I'll just run off and do all these other things. And then that's going to help me. And XYZ, that's not going to help you do anything. That's in fact going to tear you down, tear you apart, and make things harder on you. What you're needing to do is stop following the crowd. Stop following that part of you. Stop following the people around you that receive something and then go off and spend it on the wrong things. And then, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. What do I need to do for this? What do I need to do that? Stop wasting that energy. Stop losing that battle to Saturn. Stop allowing the external world to really shapeshift you and make you follow some form of direction that's not beneficial to you. The Four of Swords, because that's what's causing this unrest. This is what's causing all these thoughts to go all over the place. You can't rest with your thoughts anymore. You no longer have a crowning thought. You're just paranoid thinking. You're blaming it externally. You're looking at everything that's gone wrong rather than what you need to do. That's the disconnect. That's where your mind, your masculine's taking over. And that's how a lot of people operate on Earth, unfortunately. And that's what you're needing to fix. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Why does that matter to you? Why is your reality so fixated and worried about what other people are doing? Who cares what they're doing? They're wasting their life just as much as you are at this point. And if they're not wasting their life and they're moving on and getting what they need to do, why are you sitting around watching them? Because unfortunately for you, that's what you were desiring for them deep down inside, because you couldn't move forward until something happened to them, and then something did happen to them. But it wasn't what you wanted. The fact that they moved on and got a better life or just ignored you completely is not what you wanted. So now you can't move forward until something bad happens to you, which then makes you the same character that you cried wolf about and tried to say that they were that person. Now you're that person because it was you all along and never them. Because it takes one to know one. So if you're going to call someone something, guess what? You are it first. And you are projecting it onto them because you believe and you deem that it shouldn't be happening that way to you. Unfortunately, it's happening that way to you because you've done something along your path to make it such. You just have to realize that. Actualize that, overstand it, look at the root issue of it, where it started, and learn how to fix that. That's called being mature. That's called taking responsibility. That's called being responsible, right? That's what you're wanting to be deemed as. But if you can't do it, then you're not it. If it walks like a duck but sounds like a frog, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's probably neither of them, right? But if it walks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck. Always overstand those things. It's not this big rocket science, but the spiritual community will lie to your fucking face. The conscious community will lie to your face, tell you these bullshit things, and then you're all of a sudden, why is nothing working? I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but you're not. It's the fact that you're allowing someone to say that you're doing those things, which then tells your ego, yeah, you are, aren't you? And then you grab onto it and hope that it's working. You might not be doing any of the work, and you need to. And you need to like look at it like that and stop victimizing yourself and stop being like, well, I can't. No, you can. You just don't want to. The reason why you say you can't is because you don't want to. You just don't want to. You already had the funding to do it because you had the thought. So you've already got the wand and the cups. You're just not aware of them. You just have the thought. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do that because I need all these other things first. No, you don't. You have everything that you need. So just do it. Just go on and go ahead. You already have the thought process. Unless you're unaware of the other two processes, go back to the wand. Go back to the idea that made you think that, and then go fill it up with the cups because you can. It's just you don't want to. You do not want to because you won't do anything in this life that you don't want to do or that you deem unworthy. If you deem it to be worthy or something that you want to do, you do it. You just don't want to do it is all. You just are in denial of the truth of the facts of it. And you have to overstand that Six of Swords and take that traversing walk. You have to then spiritualize it. If I'm not wanting to do it, what in me is keeping me from doing it? Don't worry about externalizing it. Internalize it. See what you need to do. This is a journey between you and yourself. How are you going to move forward with it? What emotions do you have to get over? What confirmation with that? What energies do you have that are projecting from you that you have to focus on? All these things. Hermit, look within. Go within. Hold your lantern out. Draw up from the top of the mountain the deep wisdom that comes from within yourself, that comes from actual messengers and not just people spatting bullshit 24/7. Really listen to it, really overstand it. The real will not be seen by many, but the fake will be seen by all because they give everyone a bit of what they want rather than what their soul wants. They'll gratify your ego rather than your soul, and then go around and say, oh, we don't need to do anything negative. Well, then stop doing it, dummy. I see it all the time. I literally seen it yesterday. I got recommended a random reading. I was like, you know what? I'll go watch this person. And at the end of their reading, they're like, I don't want to read anything negative. We don't need negativity in here. Trying to act posh. And I was like, why? If you don't need negativity, why did you just spend 30 minutes reading about it? Are you stupid or dumb? If you don't want it, then why are you entertaining it? You do want it because you're not stopping it. You're not changing. You do want it. You want a weird and negative. You're weird like that. Go for it. I don't care. You're weird to me. I'm gonna call you that because I think it's weird to say that you don't want something and then continuously go down the steps that lead to you doing that thing, thinking that you can't change it whenever it's just you and you can change it because it's you projecting off those cards onto other people because you can't change yourself, right? Regardless, I just thought that was funny because that's how the whole conscious spiritual community looks to me in my eyes, is a bunch of people who, oh, I don't want to do this, but I have to. No, you fucking don't. I mean, at the end of the day, if we're gonna really spiritualize it and really talk down to it, yeah, you do. Because unfortunately for you, your soul signed up to be the poor sap to never know these things. Your soul signed up to be the poor sap to read upon things that get you emotionally upset, that get you your feelings on a bunch, that get you to call people names, that get you to laugh at people's situations, no matter how harsh or light it is on someone. You're the poor soul that now has to do that and then get big off of that. Meanwhile, your soul deep down inside knows, damn, this is a shitty thing to do, but your ego is so gratified by the numbers, by the fame, by the money, by the XYZs that you don't even realize what's going on, and you just live your life blindly saying that, oh, I have to because I believe in this, and you don't even know the truth of what you believe in. You just want to believe it blindly because it's easier to do that all these things, but deep down inside this person's soul, these people's souls know, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because I just don't like it. That's why you get irked. That's why you get bothered by it. That's why you feel like something's wrong or you don't want to do it. It's your actual internal divine self saying, stop doing it this way. There's a whole other way you could be doing it. Stop doing it this way. But unfortunately, they signed up to do that because every soul has to do something. When you see someone murders, like go on a murderous rampage, some soul had to do that because there's not been a soul yet to overcome that circumstance. And funnily enough, my soul, me in the fucking flesh, I guess, decided to fight against the whole entire tarot scene publicly, vocally, and tell them that they're doing it wrong. Because until someone actually learns the rightness of it, learns the actual truth of it, stops going with the flow of life and really, fixes things, David into Goliath energy, it ain't gonna be fixed. So I'm up against Goliath, a bunch of ignorant people that are reading shit the wrong way, that are getting their easy lives given to them, rather than me doing what needs to be done, which is speaking the truth. It's not an easy path. And that people think, oh, well, you're at the end of it. You're not at the end of that path till you're dead. So the people that are already in that luxury is like, oh, everything's fine over here. You're not at the end of your path. In fact, your path probably just now began, because now that you have all that resource, you should probably be doing something a little bit grander with it. But people don't listen to that. People don't like to hear that. Their ego is so tied to what they're desiring for their own life rather than for the collective or for the entirety of the planet, because they're still operating off of a hurt ego, off of, oh, everyone's gonna hurt me, or XYZ of that nature. The only reason why people are gonna hurt them is because, unfortunately, you hurt people, and you know that you hurt people, and you're afraid of bumping into someone that you've hurt, because deep down inside you're that little crying baby still, like we all are, not knowing what the fuck's really going on in our lives externally, because we can't see what the divine's doing. Or that internal crying baby because we're scared of what's going to happen next, because we truly don't know. No matter how many psychics or things you go to, things can change just like that. The fact that you got that reading from that psychic could literally change your whole life, and now that shit's not going to happen, because now that you know about it, something new is going to happen. That crying baby inside, that nurtured child that needs to be nurtured, right, knows these things. And it's just crying to get your attention so you can listen to it. And a lot of people don't notice that. A lot of people don't think about that because they're shallow. They're not spiritual at all. They're flesh is what they are. They're fleshly. Barely any spirit, not a lot of soul. It's an empty vessel. And it's unfortunate, because a lot of those people who have those vessels and has that type of way are the main ones you're getting your messages from. They'll say, oh, I'm spiritual because I talk to the guides and stuff. Okay, who doesn't in this world? Even if they don't consciously recognize it, who doesn't? Everyone does. Everyone has the right to. It's up to the person to shut that off or not. So are you gonna wake up, or are you gonna stay in La La Land? You stay wherever the fuck you want, but I'm leading people to the right place, because I'm not following the fucking crowd. I took the leap. I took the journey to go a little bit deeper than most people, to look at things with how they're actually going on, what's actually happening in life, and all these other things that a lot of other people don't talk about because of their own insecurities and fears of not being accepted or liked or heard or whatever, instead of just doing what they desire to do, which is to educate people on these things, because they wish that people knew about them, but they don't do their due diligence of educating people on it, right? It's a bunch of fakeness until someone's real, and then all those fake people start supporting the real one because they couldn't do it themselves, or because of their own restrictions, because they thought that they couldn't, because they didn't want to. Actually, they don't want to be responsible for it because it's too big for them, and that's okay. Some people just aren't meant for it, just what it is, right? But to get down to things and accept it like that, so you can move past hurdles, so that you can move past obstacles, so you can take that leap, that jump, is the most important part of it. The Ace of Swords, regardless. Look at that crowning thought. We were just talking about the crowning thought with the Four of Swords. Look at the crowning thought. You want to look at that crowning thought, go within. Get to the root. Get to the wand. Get to the spark of inspiration, the in-spirit ion, being in spirit's energy that led you to getting that feeling fulfillment, giving you that intuitive nudge to move forward so that you can overstand and then realize again. I was gonna say re-realize, but that would be actualized to realize. But to realize what that idea was, so that you can move forward, so that you're not fanning out everything else. Because until you recognize that idea, you're going to be fanning out all your wands. Those wands are fanned out for a reason. Snow is getting inside. Oh my God, it's snowing. Anyway, look at the wands. They're fanned out for a reason. When something's fanned out, you're trying to give it that oxygen, trying to give it that breathing room. That fire is no longer stable. It's dying out. You need to fan it out. You need to start putting more oxygen into it. Something's not working with it, right? It's either burning up too quickly and you can't control, or it's not burning up at all. And that's what's happening. You're being bombarded by ideas that your mind is making you focus on, rather than listening to the idea that the divine is trying to hand you. And that's why you feel like you can't move forward. The Nine of Wands is that anxiety. That's why you have a headache. That's why things are too stressful. You missed your beat. You missed your mark because of the external reality. That's how it might have been in the past. You don't know why you keep failing at something, or why something's not working for you, because you keep missing your beat. You keep looking at the external. You keep making excuses, and it's not working for you. Eight of Wands reverse. There it is. There's your confirmation. You did not go when it was time to go. You did not go when it was time to go. That's why. And that's what the divine is trying to show a lot of people. And they keep going through these lessons over and over again. You are missing your beat. Move forward. Stop worrying about all these other things. Move forward, right? And that's why you're not getting that external reality the way that you're desiring. That's why you're not receiving what you're desiring. This is that deeper wisdom that you already know deep down inside yourself, but you might not be actualizing. Until you actualize it and take actual action, actualize action, right? Y'all know. Until you take action on it, though, until you fully take action on it, and not take that energy and then make an excuse out of it, because that's not taking action. That's taking an action for sure, right? But it's not the action you need to be taking. So don't make an excuse out of it. Overstand it, realize it, so that you can move on, so that you can receive what you're needing, so you can stop blocking yourself. It's not anyone on the outside of you, it is you. Because unfortunately for you, even if you want to, I'll give it to you this way too. If you want to believe it's someone on the external blocking you, guess what? You're allowing them to, because you believe that to be a thing. That's your thought process. That's how you're thinking. That's how you're creating your reality. And the only way someone can block you is by playing off of things that you already have issues with. Oh, this person knows that you have insecurities. So then what are they going to do? They're going to make you feel insecure about whatever the hell your insecurity is about. And then that's going to make you not want to do it, because that's blocking you. Because what that's really trying to happen on the spiritual level is their flesh is trying to show you, hey, you have this issue that you need to fix. But because this person's activating off their ego and not their soul, they're going to mock you for it, because their ego is going to mock the fuck out of you. Their soul wouldn't mock you. Their soul would nurture you and be like, hey, I overstand, but you need to work on these things, so let's do that. And that's the difference between a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize that, because they'll end up mocking themselves. And that's why they get these low vibrational people around them, because they themselves are a very equal match for these low vibrations. The spiritual community loves to say, oh, you're always going to, whenever you're gifted and you're an earth angel, you'll bump into these people who have low vibrations. No, baby, it's you. You're the low vibrational earth angel that they're talking about. You're a low vibrational individual, because you keep interacting and bumping heads with all these other low vibrational people. And until you stop being at that low vibration for yourself with whatever they're projecting or trying to show you, right, through their own projections that you're picking up, through your own projections that go off on them and come back to you, right? Whatever's going on with that, you need to understand. Think of it this way. Look at how the sun works. Look at how light works. What does light do? Light bounces off of something so that we can see it. The light, I'll just use this as an example. This lamp, that light is bouncing off this wall, so you can see that. So you can actually see that light there. That's what's going on. When you look at someone, and when you see someone's actions, you internalize it. This light is encased in this. And not only that, the light is encased in a bulb. Not only that, inside the bulb holds the wire that's getting the power to have that light in the first place. The rest of that stuff is just protection. It's just like your soul, your flesh, your ego, whatever, right? When you look at someone, what you're seeing is what you're able to see from you. The light within you is bouncing off of that person. and you're able to dictate who that person is based off of you and your own experiences with yourself, not with anyone else, with yourself, with how you interact with things, with how you believe things to be, with what you decided to grab onto, rather than remembering that you've been sovereign your entire life. And then you end up projecting how you feel about that individual onto them when really they're showing you who you are. And that's the whole point. And that's what people need to grasp is our overstanding. It's not the other way around, even though people would like to say that because it's easy. It's the easy way out. That's a cheap way out. That's what the devil wants you to do. You're going to be worshiping the devil longer than you would be worshiping God. Let me tell you that, because people don't understand what the fuck's going on. They'll say X, Y, and Z, and then they'll be confused. Like, why isn't this working out? Why is that working out? Because you're not doing what God actually wants you to do. You're doing what the devil wants you to do, which is fine. You know what you want to do. You have your free will to follow whatever force you want in this world. But just know what force you're following before you follow it. And people aren't aware of that because we've lost that ancient art, which is the ancient art of tarot. So when you hear people say you don't need to learn the ancient arts of tarot, they're fucking lying to you. You do need to. They're working for the devil. They don't want you to be aware of yourself. In fact, they want you to be so bombarded and confused and diluted and listening to what they have to say because they want to believe that what they're doing is right when it's completely wrong. Because if it was right, why are they keep picking up on the same shit? Why aren't they able to break down the cards? Why aren't they able to actually read the cards? Why is everyone saying the same bullshit? It wouldn't be the same bullshit if it was read right. It would be a similar story. It wouldn't have the same characters. It wouldn't have the same, oh, it's someone doing this and then something bad happened to them. It wouldn't have anything to do with anyone else. Actually, it would have to do with yourself. And unfortunately, until whatever collective is fully healed, is fully functional, we're gonna have to keep doing these collective readings. There's not a collective reading you can do. The collective reading that I can really give you right now, truthfully and wholly, without using any cards, is that every individual on this earth is fucked until they figure out who they are and what they need to do for themselves instead of preying on other people. Because we've been doing that forever. Guess what? That's a form of slavery. And y'all want to say it's the white people doing slavery. No, bitch, it's been us the whole fucking time. It's been you and yourself. You're a slave to yourself. You're a slave to your ego, which then, oh, I don't want to work. I don't want to do this. Let me get someone else to work for it. Well, if I have someone work for me, I don't want them to pay. And then you have to do something to force them to pay. And that didn't come from the white man. They fucking learned that from the originals, from the Cometics, from the Egyptians, who they had slaves. They had workers, they had peasants and shit. It came all the way from, look, where does it originate from? Monkey see, monkey do, monkey get in trouble too. Y'all listen, okay? Regardless, this is why you're not attracting things that you're wanting to attract. I gotta point this out too, because I just went on that whole rant. I'm gonna point this out too. It irritates the fuck out of me. Knowing that half these people that read these things for you know this shit. But they're the same ones. Oh, we don't talk about that. Let's not talk about that. That's too scary and deep. No, it's not. You're just too unintelligent to speak on it. You're just too scared. You a bitch. I'm a point. I gotta say it like that, dude, because it's like, what the fuck? Like, I get so many people who say you're so young and you're so smart. Most of the people that you follow here know this shit or are on the path to knowing this, but they're not speaking about it because they're afraid to tell you the truth, because they're afraid to see their whole channel fucking tank when they start speaking truth. They're afraid to see people leave them. They're not brave enough to do this shit. They're not. They're too comfortable sucking the devil's dick. They're too comfortable getting gratified from the 3D to actually tell you any form of truth. So they'll keep it a secret. They'll say, oh, it's a secret. It's high level. You'll never understand it. How can they understand? How will they even be in a position to understand anything? First of all, I understand said on purpose there too. How would they be in any position to understand something if you don't present it with them in the first place? How the hell are you going to know how tall a tower is if you're not standing next to that fucking tower? Compared to whatever height you want to say. You can't say something's too much if you don't know the person. And you're doing collective readings, think you know everyone in the fucking, like, all subscribers. You ain't know shit. You don't even know how many bots you got following you. You don't know how many actual people you got following. You don't know how many trolls you got following. That's not shown to you in the algorithm. You do not see you have 7 troll accounts on your algorithm. You just see the number in total. You see it maybe split by gender, split by age. That's about it. But y'all want to just imagine and think that you do. Some, like, I'm not going to get too deep in it. I'm not going to get too deep in it. Regardless, though, it's not that I am super wise. It's just that the people that you listen to and that you're subscribed to and that you deem that are going to help you are cowards, and they're not going to tell you this stuff because they're not ready to speak about it. They'll never be ready to speak about it in this life, because just by the way they're going, they're not going to be ready to speak about it until they get some form of emotional value or some sort of intuitive consciousness rework to allow them to listen to what they need to do rather than what the ego is guiding them to do. Which is why people keep being robotic and doing the same thing over and over again. It's unfortunate, but it's a cycle that happens. And even though they might be aware of other people doing it, they'll never be aware of themselves doing it, because it's funny as fuck. No matter how aware, intuitive, or conscious you think you are, it's happening to yourself. I only know about 4 people that I've actually had conversations with that are completely aware of it, me being one of them, and understanding how fucked it is, but at the same time understanding how it needs to happen. Because that's the karma. The fact that you do it to yourself, you see other people go through it too, and that pisses you off, so you need to do it too. And that's why I get so pissed off, because I know that there's more I need to be talking about. It's just finding a way of digesting it. It's finding a way of actually being able to speak on it. You know, I know what needs to be talking about. That's why I make so many videos about this stuff. That's why I switched up how I do things. It's the whole thing. And the more irritating, and it's funny because it's always a cycle in my mind. The more irritated I get by it, the more change I need to do to change it. If I'm being irritated by it, then that means I'm not seeing a work in it. So what do I need to do? Start fucking teaching people about it. Start being more vocal about it so that I can see the change that I'm desiring in life. Not only for the external, but mainly and firstly for the internal, so I can stop feeling that irritation. So that mask of irritation isn't covering what I'm actually trying to speak, what I'm actually trying to teach. But people aren't conscious like that. People don't want to internalize it that way. People don't want to accept that the reason why little baby 2-year-old Miles got murdered down the road is because of themselves and their own way of working, their own way of operating. They don't want to realize that. They don't want to realize that the whole World War III scare is from their own self and not from anything external. They don't want to admit that all the monstrosities that's happened within life has come from them and not from some external force. It's all them, that collective effort of doing that, because they decided to be part of it instead of being on the part to allow those events not to happen. But that's another topic for another day. Because people don't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear it, and I did hear it. I had to listen to it, I had to agree with it, and I didn't have to agree with it. I sat down and studied it. I sat down and did a meditation on it for a while. Years of meditation on that. And it clicked. And I was like, damn, that is true. It's just how it is, huh? Because I'm not doing something. Because it's trying to force me to do something that I'm not wanting to do for some reason. And why am I not wanting to do it? What is preventing me from doing that? That's another whole meditation that I had to do and get down to the root of. And I can't tell you the reason why, because I don't know who you are watching this video, right? Obviously. I can only tell you what I did. I mean, what I did is only going to work for me. It might give you pointers to go a certain path, but it's only going to work for me solid. You want to know actually how to fix these things, get an actual reading. Not if you know another like high ranking reader or whatever, not one of these YouTube weirdos. If honestly, there's only me and one other person I would really recommend to get a reading from on this platform, because they read better than me. Because you're the one fucking teaching me, right? So I don't like. That's what I'm really trying to get at. Is if you need a reading, go get one from actually just gonna read the cards, read what you want, rather than gratify that ego and follow that path, because that path's not gonna lead you anywhere but destruction, right? But you're watching this happen. You're watching the external world. You're watching the things gravitate around you, not benefits you. You're watching the things that are happening around and to you, not giving you that leverage, that upper hand. You're needing to target that point, get down to that basis, see it for what it is, get that bullseye. Don't be like, it's this, it's that. No, what is it truly? Because what you're not overstanding, it's not one thing. That one thing is two things. What you're blind of seeing is that you're already walking down one path of that object. You're already walking down the I can't, this is the reason why I can't, all these other things. What you're not looking at is the other side of that. The other side is all the things that you can do, the things that is showing you that you desire to do, that you can do, and that you will do at some point, hopefully, depending on who you are and what you do, right? That's what you need to realize. That duality that you want to call so much starts from inside. There's no external duality. That's bullshit. It's internal, because you're only seeing it from a rationed way of being, only one way. You're not seeing it as its whole picture, right? When you do that, you'll no longer be lost. You won't be in this energy of losing, of not having, or whatever, not being aware. You'll be out of that energy completely. But you need to first target it, target that point, overstand what it is. And even if you don't get it off bat, that's okay. Don't stress yourself out to worry about it either. Just overstand what's going on. Just overstand that the path you've been walking down has not been the right path. It's the path that you've been left with. So I have the right and left. Anyway, that's a whole other thing to talk about too. Anyway, you'll definitely be alerted and shocked. There's something that's trying to be seen as well. It's like I'm getting the alarm card as well. It's not coming out, but the alert. There's something that the divine is trying to show you. There's something that the world around you is trying to show you, and you're just like, you're not paying attention to it. It might have shocked you. You might have not been paying attention to it due to a shock value, due to how upfront it was and how it wasn't necessarily what you were desiring. But that's not the point. That's not the case, right? Relax. You might be getting signs through music, lyrics, or however, but it's time to take that relaxing point. It's time to understand what you're needing to do versus what you're wanting to do, right? And again, moving on, allowing the bygones be bygones, letting things from the past that have halted you just be things in the past that can no longer halt you. Keep moving forward. Ooh, sorry, there's kale at the bottom of that. Don't stop moving forward. Invest in what you need to go for. All you can go up. You have two choices. People want to say all that's left to do is go up. No, you can go down. You can go deeper. You tenfold can go deeper. You can go deeper and fuck yourself up real bad. You need to move up. Once you start moving up, then the only way you have is to move up. When you're stagnant, oh baby, you can go up or down. You can go left or right. You can go diagonal. You can go adjacent. You can conjunct it. You can do all sorts of shit. You can do a roundabout. You can go around the whole circle too. You can do it. You can do a 360, a 720, a 180. You can do all sorts of shit. But it depends on what you want and what you're actually going to do. You just need to make that decision and move forward with it. What are you desiring to do? I'm desiring this outcome. All right, talk to yourself about it. What do I need to do? Oh, you need to talk. You talk to yourself about it. Oh, you need to ask someone else that question. Ask someone else that question. Do they know what you need to do? No, that's okay. Don't worry if they know. If they do know how to, good. If they don't worry. Then what can you do? Look it up online. Go find out. Do research that way. Go do that. Don't be lazy. Don't be like, oh, that's too much work, or that's too much time, or don't use AI to research, because all AI is going to do is Google shit for you. I don't overstate. Like, I don't get it. Do people think that like AI is its own like actual brain and that it can just tell you things that aren't known? All it's doing is looking at the web. All AI is right now, all that artificial intelligence, it is artificial. I'll tell you that fucking much, because it's literally just Googling shit that you're wanting to know, but at a computer human speed. So it rips away any form of actual nourishing. It rips away from receiving any form. I don't know. Like, listen, y'all, if I got really deep into it, I could definitely compare how a lot of people are following the Antichrist due to materialism. Because what would the Antichrist really be doing? What does Christ want you to do? Follow your heart. Do what you need to do. What would the Antichrist be? What would the opposite of the Christ be? Oh, look at this material thing. Look at this external. Look how quick and easy this can be. We're going to make life simpler for you. Whatever life is already simple, you're just making it hard on yourself because they're running it. And you're allowing these external forces to run your life. So now you need a reason to make it easy instead of just listening to yourself. It's all these things. Anyway, you take it as you want. I'm not saying that I said that, but at the same time, I am saying that AI is Antichrist. I am saying that Elon Musk and Trump and them are all part of Antichrist agenda, but I'm also not saying that. If you know, you know. If you can look into it a little bit deeper than your ego state of mind of saying, yeah, I don't like them anyway, because I don't care about the fucking flash. I don't give a damn if you what your political standpoint is. That's bullshit. I don't like that. You're wrong field. Go somewhere else. You're playing basketball on the tennis court. Go somewhere else. Right? We're being intellectuals here. We're talking about it in that sort of way because it's different, because it's what we need to talk about, right? I'm not saying it, but I am saying it. I'm not saying it because of the flesh. I'm saying it because of the actions. I'm saying it because of the flesh. I'm saying because I'm seeing what's going on and I know how these things operate. And if you just add up the pieces, it makes a little bit of sense. Do your research. Regardless, this is what's blocking you. That alert that you might have blocked, that shock value, that, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that you blocked out because of some sort of, like, I don't know what I have to do, y'all, to just tell you about this stuff. It's right here. There's no easy way out. It literally says easy way on the bottom card. You're blocking yourself because you're trying to take an easy way out. Quit. Stop. You're not spiritual. You're not. If you're gonna be taking easy way outs and you want to, and I'll say you're not spiritual in the sense that the community overstands, the general consciousness overstands what it means to be spiritual rather than what it actually fucking means. People don't look up things, they just make up their own definition. They like to hear themselves talk. They don't know what the hell they're talking about in the first place. Unfortunate. And that's why I seem so fucking damn smart, because I look up this stuff. I research this stuff. This is my interest. This is my life. I want to know the fucking truth. I don't want to be lied to. I'm tired of that shit. It's annoying. Like, damn. I lie to myself my whole life. I don't want to lie to myself anymore. I don't want to listen to anyone else's lies either. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn. And if I see you living a lie, that's cool. You keep living that lie. I'll extend one hand for a few seconds. If you don't grab onto it, you're okay, have fun. I ain't saving you. Again, you're blocking that spiritual side of you, that third eye, that intuition. You're blocking your intuition by trying to take easy way outs. Oh, I'll just do this and then that's going to fix it. No, stop. Stop taking the easy way out of things. Stop doing that. Like, it's not going to help you. It's not going to allow you to move forward. Again, with religion, faith, follow what you need to. Maybe you need to study more on what you believe in, on your belief systems, or what you know, depending on who you are and what you do, right? Study more on it. Don't walk with such a blind attitude with it. Start to actually intertwine yourself with it. Look at what you believe in and what you I'm gonna say the word believe, it's fine, but what you believe in, right? Because I for the ones that know the deeper words I'm meaning to say, y'all should also know I just can't be talking like that, because it's gonna go whoosh. You know, I've witnessed that already. People just don't get it. So whatever you believe in, you have to realize that what you believe in is also going to be projected out externally as well. So if you believe the world is bad, that's because part of you is bad, because you're listening to your ego a lot. And instead of actually changing that viewpoint, now everything's going to be bad because you're a bad person in this world that is neutral and allows you to pick whatever side you want to be on. So if you're going to say that everything's bad and evil, then you're bad and evil because you're the one viewing it and creating that in your life. So unfortunate for you, but that's the truth of it. That's what you really have to get down and deal with. Express yourself, though. Allow yourself to see it. Allow yourself to live it authentically. Don't put a mask on. Don't trap yourself. Don't lock yourself up. Don't listen to the ego. Don't listen to the devil. The angel and the devil on the shoulders of the old cartoons. That's literally what is going on in there. Like, people like wanted to laugh at me when I first started saying that shit, and I'm not gonna stop saying it. On Tom and Jerry and all those fucking cartoons, where it had an angel and a devil on the shoulder, that was them showing you, hey, you have your intuitive consciousness, which is why the angel's always on the left side, and you have the rational consciousness, the thought consciousness, the devil, which is always on the right side, to show you that. And it showed you how peaceful and how the angel didn't fight back, and how the devil would go man, man, man. And sometimes the angel would fight back or like yell back for comedic value, but that would be when you're arguing with yourself to the point of like, no, I need to do this. I can't wait to do this. That's that part of you that does that. It's all a reflection of you. It's right there in front of your face. You just really have to internalize it and look at it and stop Listen to other people, damn. Like, fun. Stop listening to these fucking idiots that don't know anything. Y'all are like crazy out here. There are some crazy people out here. There really are. There's some crazy messengers. There's some crazy individuals out here. You just need to make sure that you're you're following the right group, because a lot of people just are not, and that's just their life. Then they can stick with it. That's okay. It's not me. You know. Well, it is me, but it's not a part of me that I'm ignoring. It's a part of me that I'm trying to fix and heal, because I actually care. Regardless, I can't stop talking about it like that, because once you realize it, it's just like, damn. And it's not really like an irritation factor that makes me talk about it. It's more of just someone has to bring it to attention, and if that means that I have to talk about it like multiple times, I will. Because is just what we need to talk about, you know. It's just what's going on. Regardless, we're gonna jump in because we have a few more decks to get. It's easy. I'll say this as well for y'all. It's easy to do an hour-long video talking about projecting stuff on other people and saying that other people are hurting you. It's easy to do that shit. Find you some people that can go an hour plus talking about what's actually important, talking about the self, talking about healing the soul, not talking about no esoteric bullshit, not talking about no secret society bullshit, being direct, telling you about you, and not you and your flesh self, but you and your spirit self, your soul self. Find people who can do that. That means you're going the right place. If you're still hanging around those weirdos that are projecting a bunch of bullshit and saying, I don't mess with that and stuff of that nature, no, they mess with it because they in it. In fact, they are the mess that's in it because they can't get out of it. They don't know how to. They don't want to for some reason. I don't know why. That's on them. I ain't about it. Regardless, the best advice, the end advice for this is to not allow that fire in you to dissipate. Do not allow that Leo wand to dissipate. Do not allow the external reality to make you feel like your ideas are not worthy, that the ideas that you're working on are not worthy. I don't know why the fuck this card even says Scorpio on it. Who wrote this? I'm just now really looking at these cards because I haven't used them in a long time. Why the fuck is there water on this? Who the hell put Scorpio on? And it's not Sagittarius, it's Leo. What the fuck? Oh my god, this whole card's fucked up and wrong. I'm sorry. Whoever made these cards is incorrect, like out the ass incorrect. They just put in shit on cards to make it look cool. I don't know how the hell they get that. Oh my god. At least they got Gemini right for the Nine of Swords. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. It's about that time where I'm like looking at shit now differently. I've done clicked that part of me on permanently. It's like, oh my god, what the hell? Anyway, the Nine of Swords reverse. Stop listening to that evil twin. The evil twin inside of you. That twin of you that wants to say everything's bad. The Jacob and Esau, you know, all these other ones. I forgot what it was. I forgot all the other twin ones. But it's really the twin rivalry, like, you know, Jacob, Esau, Cain and Abel, all those other ones, like Roman stuff as well, all through the Greek mythologies, all things of that nature, right? All those twins that would go at each other like that. Don't listen to the evil one. Don't listen to the one that says you can't. Follow the one that you can. And I mean, there it is, the Queen of Wands. Follow that intuitive spark. Don't listen to the side of you that's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Follow the intuitive spark. Really allow yourself to move forward. That's all you need to do to receive what you're desiring. It's not that hard, not that scary. It's just that you don't know, and it's maybe you could be operating off of fear of, I don't want to seem stupid. I don't want to seem like I don't know anything. I don't want to seem like I'm you know, I don't want to go up there and quote unquote waste my time. It's not wasting your time. It's spending it. What you're doing right now is wasting the time on saying that you can't do it, wasting your time on the fear of things not working out for you. That's what's going on. And that's why you're unable to move forward. You're unable to move forward because you are in that time of wasting time. You can't move it to that emotional state just quite yet. You can't put it into that intuitive consciousness just yet because you haven't grabbed solely onto the why. Why am I doing it, to the root of the thing? When you do that, because you're wanting to move forward in the energy, you're wanting to move it to the next phase, but you're needing to see the genie aspect, you're needing to see the God aspect, you're needing to see the magic in it, you're needing to see what you can do, what can work for you, what can be prosperous once walking down that path. You need to see those things instead of trying to think about them. Feel the idea, search the idea deeper, because until you do, you're not going to see anything gratifying. You won't find a gratification on the external immediately. You already have the internal gratification, but because you don't see it on the physical just yet, it makes you feel like you don't want to do it, or that everything's ruined, XYZ, right? All these other things. When you stop doing that, you're going to get your justice. But right now, you're getting what you're working for, which is why the Justice card is up right after the Nine of Pentacles reverse. You're not getting that external gratification, and that's what you're wanting. You're not wanting to get that external gratification. You're not. You're just wanting it to be over with. And that's not an external thing, that's an internal thing. To get over it is you have to muster up that strength from the internalize it and from the internal to jump over it. So you're getting what you want. You're getting that justice. You're getting what you're asking for, but you're not seeing it because you're following your ego instead of your soul. You're not letting that crowning thought from the cups, from the wand, nurture or spark anything in you. In fact, you're turning that sword upside down and be like, I don't want to do that because XYZ. So don't do that. You're binding yourself. You're being blinded as a bat. You're blind as a bat, excuse me. And you're only using echolocation to define things. You're letting the sound waves bump off of everything. The sound waves of how you're going to think and say things are bouncing off of what your external reality looks like, how it looks right now, instead of doing the steps that you need to change that. Your masculine's inflamed, your feminine's chained up and not fruitful. You're unable to see what you need to see. So quit picking at these things. Seven of Pentacles, take rest when it comes to looking on the physical. Take rest from looking at the physical. Look at the spiritual. You focus so much on the physical, you forget that there's a spiritual aspect to it, which is why people always say you're being external, like people are projecting things on you. That's a 3D thing. If you're worried about whatever someone else is doing, you're not spiritual thinking. You're focusing on the 3D. Focus on the spiritual aspect. Spiritual comes from within. Spiritual is inside. It's the divine diving in, right? And that's how you're going to connect to yourself. That's how you're going to meet the reality that you really want. These are the steps to do it. You might not want to believe it, but it really is this simple. It truly is. But you need to connect to yourself. You're not allowing your mind to go to your heart space. Because first, before you even do that, you need to learn how to control and listen to the intuition. You're going to need to learn how to speak to yourself. The Page of Cups didn't come out yet because you're not even needing to worry about that. You're wanting to know the external reality. You're wanting to know the end result. The end result will be you on top of those shaky waters. You're on the masonry. You're on the stone on top of the waters. There's fish in the water. So you've already mastered how to speak fish. That's what you're needing to do. And the only way that you're going to realize that you've already mastered how to speak fish, that you already know what you need to do, that you already are on this high ground, is whenever you bring that mind to the heart space. Whenever you bring that masculine to the feminine, you do not bring Jill to Jack. You need to bring Jack to Jill, because Jack is already running up ahead on the hill trying to get that fucking water. Even on the tower, you can see that he's falling. I'll get that. I'll show you that too. Y'all don't pay attention as much as I do. I'll tell you that right now when it comes to Hero. You're not even gonna see. You ain't even gonna see shit. This is something that I wasn't like. The dude that's teaching me hasn't even told me this yet. This is something I just observed on my own. Trust me, on you would be surprised. I will blow your fucking mind when it comes to reading tarot. If you look at Jack, he's further down than Jill. Jack is further down than Jill. Jack fell first. Jill came tumbling after. Jill was following Jack because Jill had to. She's not going to fight. The divine's not going to fight where you want. The divine will follow you right down to the pits of hell. But once you get there, they're like, so would you learn something? Did you know not to go down here? Did you, like, you know? So, you know, we good? Can we start going back up? Or are you going to sit here and you're going to keep beating yourself up over it and go deeper? What are we doing? Because I'll give you the energy to do whatever you desire to do, of course. But you got to make sure it's going to be beneficial to you. Because if you truly know best, you do best, right? I don't know. I don't know. Some people just aren't ready. Some people just don't know. Some people just aren't wanting it that way. That's okay though. Regardless, I know this is going to reach the right people. I know it's going to hit some people. It's just how it's going to be. It's just how it is. But let's see. I'm also going to say, truly and honestly, if you are sticking on this channel, you're probably one of the very few people that if you learn anything or you actually sit down and listen to these readings that I do, you're probably one of the only y'all are like going with the person that's actually trying to help y'all grow on YouTube, basically. Other, like, there's not many people on here that's actually trying to like evolve people, you know, in a spiritual sense. So if you found this channel, you're definitely on the right track. It's up to you to decide if you want to do it or not. I'm not gonna pussyfoot. I don't got time to pussyfoot around it. If you don't like how blunt I am, you can go somewhere else. I don't give a fuck. Like they'll cater to your ego. I'll cater to your soul. You know, you pick and choose however you want to run. Anyway, don't fall off your pathway. Don't be persuaded off your pathway by fake or by whatever shimmers, right? Don't lie to yourself on this path. Don't go towards that ego gratification of lying to yourself. That's how you get off your path, right? Don't do that. Don't lie to yourself. Keep yourself honest, right? Make sure that you are feeling secure. Make sure that you're showing yourself the security side. A lot of times you get so stuck in the ego that you're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and then you start believing that that's just how the reality of situations are going to be. When that's incorrect. You can be safe. You can be comforted. You are secure, but you're not allowing yourself to feel that way. There's something about you need to know something more as well. Getting more knowledge, getting more education when it comes to certain things. You feel like you're out of time as well. Like if you feel like you're out of time, you're not. You're imbalanced. You're not spending your time wisely. You're wasting your time. And that's why things feel so struck against you, because you've been wasting time instead of spending it actually. That's why you don't feel like you're getting another chance. That's why things aren't moving for you. That's why you're not getting guarded. That's why you're not getting revived, resuscitated, because you keep wasting the time. You're in your south node, north node reverse. You're in your south node. You're playing with your ego. You're playing with your habits, your safety zones, but you're trying to act like you're in your north node. And that's the truth of what's going on. See the truth. Balance out your scales. Balance out yourself. This is Saturn. This is time. This is Father testing you. What do you want to do? And we'll let you do it, but are you disciplined enough to do it? That's this tower. Something is beginning. There's a new beginning happening, but it takes discipline. It takes challenges. It's going to be a lesson for you to learn, but that lesson is going to bless you. That lesson is going to give you gratification. It's going to give you luck. It's going to take time. So spend your time wisely, always. Always, always, always. Because there is an upgrade. There is an upgrade coming to you. But first, you need to leave the south node. Once you leave that south node, an upgrade will be closer to you. An upgrade will be upon you. But you cannot have an upgrade while doing the same old things. You cannot have an upgrade when you're stuck in these cycles that you know that aren't beneficial to you. So you have to move forward. You have to do something different. And we're going to get the animal cards and see what needs to come out in the animal cards. And shuffle 2 more times. Anything that needs to come out. And take the bottom, the top, and the split. Just for fun. All right. We got him. All right, we have Snake, guardian of the unawakened magic and creative potential. The snake is a symbol of our highest potential. It is said that Shakti, our creative life force, lies dormant at the base of the spine in the form of a coiled snake. Regardless of whether this image rings true for you, it's well worth considering the amount of unawakened or untapped potential within. What would life look like if you woke it up? How can you stir it from slumber? An experienced yoga or meditation teacher can lead the way. Make haste. The snake card appears when there's no more time to waste. Stop wasting it in the first place, right? When in balance, prosperous, creative, and charismatic. When out of balance, starts and stops many things to bring into balance Kundalini yoga or meditation. Okay, we have horse. Momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with momentum so reliable, so supportive, that you can ride on its back towards any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse's personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone our collective energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, and mental focus, meditation, are the secret weapons behind a horse's legacy. When imbalance achieves anything, it never gives up. When out of balance, runs away, feels weak. To bring into balance, strength training. We have octopus, reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. The octopus signifies a wonderfully prepared. Let me start over. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perspective mind paired with the lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself onto other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that it's what's meant to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries, be patient and firm. It may be a very old habit to change. When imbalanced, interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, lacks courage. And to bring into balance, space to oneself and talk therapy. We have. Did I skip it? Oh yeah, it probably was one of the first cards. Now that I'm really thinking about it, I think it is the first card. It is. Okay, that's funny. Crocodile. Resting, submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off. The crocodile reminds us to take a step back from the external world and turn inward. Now is not the time for decisions, actions, or discussions. The crocodile's mantra is wait. It doesn't mean lying around hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing, and building energy. Fill up the vital reserves so your next moves can come from a place of wisdom and power. When in balance, wise, patient, a silent powerhouse. When out of balance, feels stuck and lashes out. To bring into balance, rest and Markasana pose. We had one of every energy, except for spirit. We have zebra, eccentric, creative, and visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldwide views while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to global health through environmental or volunteer work. This may be a hint to pack your bags. When unbalanced, worldly, enthusiastic, and fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, and vain. To bring into balance an epic adventure in art. And last but not least, we have Hawk. Wherever Hawk is, probably either in front or behind Eagle. Hawk is watchful, all-seeing messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you, and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly, though it may seem small or insignificant. It will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, sees clearly, intuitive. When out of balance, sees too much and suspicious. To bring into balance, a perspective shift. I don't know if you can hear the sirens, but they be going off. Um, and that is the reading. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to all the angels, God, Mother, Father, the spirit, souls, ancestors, and all for being here. And thank you as well, Coach, for being here. Again, if you're wanting to support, you can donate to the fundraiser that we're hosting by donating to either my Cash App, my PayPal, or the Venmo. If you also want to support in other ways, you can get using my services. You can get readings from me. I have a bunch of other services. I can do all sorts of readings. Just ask me on what you need a reading on. I can do it. Like it's not hard to do multiple readings like that. The people that just think that it is aren't really aware of what reading is. I can do any type of reading that you throw at me. I'll get down to the actual meaning of what you're trying to figure out, and we'll work through it. If you're needing any books, I have a lot of books. I know it just says duality down there, but I have a lot of other books. They're all the same price. Just ask me about them. I have one-on-one services. I have the tarot classes. Other than that, thank you all so much for all the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, whether energetic or financial. I truly appreciate them. If you're looking for the Dr. Malachi books, I have them in the description. They're free. They're just in a Google Drive. Dr. Malachi is coming home. So do your studying. Make sure that you're up to date with all those as well. There's more than just the Malachi books on there as well. There's like vegan cookbooks. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of other people's books down there too. So it's not just Malachi's book. You can go through the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff in there for you and your interest. Trust me on that for sure. But regardless, I love each and every one of y'all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. And I will see you later.